Rain cries down like waterfalls. Heaven leaves you cold, lonely at the door. Before I go, give me one or two things, keep me safe from the wind. And pretty well, my darling, pretty well.
I think the song that would kind of send me back home when I'm on the road is the Monto from the Dubliners. Anything from the Dubliners really, but like the Monto especially. If you don't know it, it's about a street called Montgomery Street in Dublin. It's not here anymore. I think it's, don't quote me on it, but I think it's South Talbot Street, but like I'm not really sure exactly what the street is now. But anyway, during the early 1900s, it was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, red light districts. And it just tells the song tells like these wild, wacky stories of people coming looking for the Monto and spending all that money on the women of the night. But I would listen to a lot more Irish songs on the road than I would at home, simply because, you know, feeling that wee bit of homesick. But yeah, the Monto is always one that like sends me back to the wildness of Dublin. Yeah.
Many friends have comforted me. One I call on frequently. It's Mary Jane, and she covers me in ash, fills my head with useless thoughts. And pretty well, my darling, pretty well.
Yeah, when we got off the plane, like I flew over and the first time in the States and stuff, and I landed, and Isaac wasn't there at the airport where he's meant to collect me because he got pulled over by the cops driving from Oklahoma to Montana. So I got a taxi, and that was a whole ordeal trying to figure out how to get a phone that has now been to the States working. Got to the hostel, they weren't open. I ended up following some dude down the laneway to try to open a back emergency door into this hostel. Eventually got in, they let me in, they were asleep, whatever. But when I was sitting there and I'm waiting for Isaac, and for people that don't know, the guy I toured with, Isaac J. Elliot, like I only met him through the internet. Like we just like, and I was like, let's live in a car for 3 months together. So I'm sitting in this hostel, I'm looking at my like Google Maps, seeing like it's very hard to comprehend distance, especially when you're like flying for like 8 hours and stuff. But when you finally see the distance, you're like, oh, I can't go home. Like this is it. This has to work. Because if it doesn't, I'm pretty snookered. And I woke up the next morning and Isaac was in the room, but he was asleep. So I went into the spare room. My mother called me. She's like, how was Isaac? And I'm like, haven't met him yet. He's asleep. Like, so we met, and yeah, just clicked. Like it couldn't have went better. You know, it was the fact. My dad says a great line. He says, my mother was really nervous for me to meet Isaac because, you know, I'm just meeting some random dude off the internet. But my mum said that someone that's willing to travel 2 days to meet you is a good guy, you know. So yeah, we went and we lived in a car for 3 months, and we got closer than brothers, and it couldn't have went better. But there was a moment where I was sitting there in the hostel on my own, waiting for him to show up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, going like, this was my decision. And as like a child, you don't want to prove that your parents are right. You want to kind of prove them wrong. But I'm sitting there going, I don't know if I should have done this. This is a bit stupid. But no, it all worked out.
It's Jamaican
plans.
Yeah. And he goes, I'd say, I said, Kenan, you walk down with a bag, set of dungarees, set of Crocs, a cowboy hat. He thought you were homeless, didn't he? Why would he rob you if you have got nothing? And he goes, oh yeah, maybe. But that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was you're going down light, you're homeless, but when can you do that, you know? You walk down with a suit, you stood out like a sword home.
Yeah. I love your money.
Yeah. They looked at you and go,
They gave me money.
and that's why you said, didn't a woman come out of a shop with a sandwich and a cup of coffee?
Yeah, oh my god. So like, we were in, it was near the end of last year's tour. Last year's tour, it kind of like, the money situation kind of got a bit tipped up at the end. I was set to stay for free with this Irish family. The only people that let me down at both tours were an Irish family. Americans never let me down. But I was sitting outside that house and pissing rain, and I had like my suitcase, 2 guitars, a backpack and a tote bag. They wanted in, so I had to like book somewhere to stay. We found like really like low-rated cheap hotel in Jamaican Plains, and I show up and like, I don't know if you got by the name, but like people that look like me with a cowboy hat and boot don't really show up in Jamaican Plains. And I went out and the taxi driver was like, I'm gonna walk you to your door, and I was like, no, it's grand. He's like, no, please. He walked me, and then I went to get food, and he was like, order food, don't go out. Like, he was like from the area. He was like, don't go out, order food. And I'm like, okay. And we were walking down the road, and I looked insane, and there's like this woman comes out of a McDonald's with like a coffee, like a frappuccino, and she's like looking around, and she's like, sees me, it's like, hey, cracker. And I'm like, me? She's like, hey, cracker. And I'm like, yeah. She goes, I bought this coffee with the homeless person I bought it for. I isn't here anymore. Do you want it? So like, she just obviously thought I was some like insane homeless white dude. And she was like, I'm gonna help this cracker out. She gave me, I'm like walking down with like a frappuccino at like 10 o'clock at night in Jamaican Plains. And yeah, it was an experience. It was an experience.
Call it hardness of a man, stupidity or pride, but I ain't leaving this damn town alive. I'll have 1 drink for company, 2 for living, and 3 for whatever comes fucking next. Now fade away, my darling, fade away. And fade away, my darling, fade away.
I don't know, I learned how to handle myself a wee bit better. I think crowds are different anywhere you go. I think different places are more receptive to different genres of folk and stuff, and different genres of music and folk and that general sense. But I just found you learn how to deal with different atmospheres and different crowds, and I think my stage work has become very fluid as well. I can deal with hecklers a wee bit better as well. But generally, I think when you tour or just play shows regularly, you learn a lot, not only about music and about where you're playing, but a lot about yourself and how you kind of present yourself and how you want to be perceived and stuff. So I think it's a great self-discovering tool.
Fade away, my darling, fade away. Then fade away, my darling, fade away. Ooh.